Good howdy everybody, welcome in. It took me so long to actually edit and get this video ready to be put out that patch 2.1 has now released, which is crazy. It adds all kinds of new stuff. The Visional Wheel is now an Endless Dream, which is amazing. I'm really excited to check that out. But this is a long video. We all know that. We can see it. You see the duration of this. This is going to be a fairly comprehensive new and returning player guide. In this guide, we're going to be going over how you begin a scenario, the things you need to worry about when starting, how to find loot, how to gather materials, things to note while building, how to optimize your crafting in a way that's not going to slow down your gameplay or cause you any undue grief or material waste. Pre and post combat tips, some advanced building ideas, which are going to basically talk about farming and electricity, and then lastly, map traversal. These are all things that are going to be wildly beneficial to anyone who is either new or just coming back. They've done a lot of changes over the last 6 months, let alone the last year, if you will. If you played this game when it came out, it is now very different from how you remember. So I hope this is helpful for you, and let's dive in. To exit the scenario, you want to go to the top right scenario selection button. From here, you'll see that we're on phase 5, A New Dawn. Here's all the sign up requirements. You're going to want to hit the sign up button from here. This is going to bring you into the new scenario selection screen. There's a lot of scenarios to choose from. The one we're looking for is Endless Dream because that's where we're trying to go. But you can pick whichever one you want. From here, you can see all these selections that you have for servers. We're going to try to find the one that we want, which is 24. So from here, you want to hit F to sign up for the new scenario. You're going to get a couple options here. Personal sign up, which is just you. You're going to get the join team option, create team. These are going to let you go in with people, but it doesn't really matter. We're just going to do personal sign up. From here, it'll tell you what resources you're going to be inheriting once you log into the new scenario. This is just telling you things that were from your previous server that are now coming over, and then anything you want to inherit from your eternal land. The main things you want to focus on bringing over are the electric chainsaw and the electric drill. Those two things are going to be the most convenient for you. Here you have the option between simplified and complete. Simplified is going to get rid of the main story quests. You can just go play the game. Complete is going to walk you through the story. This is only if you've done the scenario before. So if you get this option, I personally choose simplified every time. But if it's your first time, you're always going to get the complete experience. And here we're going to walk through the story. You got to click through all this. If you've ever played Dark Souls 2, think of it like the seek lest person.
Seek lest.
We open the door, get on the floor, everybody walk the dinosaur. Once we say goodbye to Mitsuko, she tells us to stay safe. And then we get the super cool cutscene.
Childhood pleasures. Happy memories. These are the sensations that emerge when your mind reaches the depths of REM sleep.
How it feels to chew 5 gum. Stimulate your senses.
Good night.
All right, so now that we have watched the super cool cutscene, we get the option to select our class. I'm going to do a deep dive video on these, but for right now, it opens up with Beastmaster, which allows you to control animals, Chef, which allows you to double stack food buffs and create food on the fly, Gardener, which allows you to make an incredible amount of crops, and then Free Person, which allows you to select your class later. So starting off with Beastmaster, you're given specific class traits. The class traits you have are Beast Partner, which allows you to summon beasts in battle. Beast Whisperer, which lets you talk to them, which is really funny. Breeding Expert. Don't read into it. Don't do that. And Wilderness Master, which lets your animals gather things for you, which is delightful. You start out with a beast pet, and then it also gives you a whistle, so you can summon that beast in battle right away. And then from there, you get a formula to craft more, a formula for mutagens to buff them, animal ranching. It's great. So for Chef, you get the option to stack food buffs with Glutton. You get Ingredient Scent, which lets you gather more ingredients in the wild. Culinary Perfection, which allows you to enhance the effects of creative cooking dishes you make by up to an additional 0.5%. And then you also get the special starting gear, the Portable Cooking Station, which allows you to make the highest tier recipes anywhere you go, and the Gourmet Atlas, which stores the dishes you've made. And then creative cooking is how you do it. Gardener, it's Gardener. You can grow stuff. There's things to grow and plants to graft mechanical pieces onto, and then you can do things with them, such as grow more plants and such. It's really powerful. I'm underselling it. It's actually very good. I think it's great for an alt, personally. I don't really use Gardener. Free Person allows you to pick a class at a later time. If you're indecisive, Free Person's the way to go. This character, I'm starting with Beastmaster. From here, you are given a spawn area to choose. Myers Market, which is the mid-level area, Deadsville, which is the low-level area, and then the northern region, which don't go there. Just don't start way winter. You're going to have a bad time. So as we load in, we are just taken straight to the ground. You don't fly in anymore. And once you get into a server, you got to say good howdy. That is a hard requirement. So here we have our backpack. Our backpack is just full of the stuff that we're given by default, such as the boar, our food. We have no tools. We got nothing. So we're just doing the best we can with what we got right now. And then in here, you have transit storage. So everything that was on your previous server exists here before moving to Eternal Land. This will hold things in storage for 30 days before you have to get rid of all of it. So I made a video on what to bring over. I'm not going to go over it in detail, but basically, heck all these weapons. We're not going to want them. It's way too expensive to bring over. It's not worth it. So we're going to go ahead and just sell all those, get them out of the way. We're going to do the same thing for our armor. The armor holds no value for us. Again, just sell it. Now, materials, you're not going to use any of these. I understand there's some things you might want to keep, such as controllers, maybe some, I don't know. Most of it's just going to get sold anyway. It's going to take up space. Now, the tools are the important one. This is where it's going to hold all your calibrations. It's going to hold your chainsaws. It's going to hold your drills. Make sure you take these out of your transit backpack and put them into your Eternal Land. And then all the blueprints that you actively want to. This is very important. Don't worry about the ammo. Don't worry about the explosives. Just bring over your drill, your chainsaw, blueprint calibrations, and then your deviations. Be very careful. Make sure you bring over all the ones that you want to keep. Otherwise, they're all going to disappear. Anything that's in your transit storage after that 30 days that you did not bring over gets automatically converted into astral sand. So be very careful. Make sure you bring over everything you want and do not forget about this. Don't want to lose any of this stuff. In this case, I'm going to bring over some of my deviations. Once you've selected all your deviations, you're good to go move on to whatever other things you want to bring over. And if you want to make it easy to know the ones that you actively want to pick, go ahead and rename them. That'll actually be really helpful for you. If you rename your deviations, it'll be very easy to see exactly who has what, where, and why it exists. The whole thing. So now that we've moved things from transit storage into Eternal Land, we're going to go ahead and begin inheriting resources. I still have items on this character from the launch of the game. The specimen loot crates, that was the first event they ever did. I will hold on to those till the day I die. So in this inherit resource screen is how we bring over our items. So we're going to be inheriting these items, the advanced electric drill and the advanced chainsaw. And then we're also going to bring over our deviations. The ones that matter the most are Dreamcatcher, our Lone Wolf's Whisper, Lunar Oracle. We're also going to be wanting to bring over our strongest Digby boys that I lovingly refer to as Digbert Men. I need 2 of them. We need the Atomic Snail so we can dash around with Arrow Leap. Lethal Rabbit so we can gather some hide very easily, passively. And then Paper Dolls because they just give us really good tier 3 materials at a good rate. We're also going to bring over a Space Turner so I can teleport people. I didn't add the Paper Doll in this yet because I didn't think about it at the time, but use the Paper Doll. It's actually really good. I take back everything I ever said that was bad about it. Don't pick your mimetic specialization until you have all of them unlocked, because if you get a bad roll, they will no longer be in the loot pool. So when you have 3 bad ones, that's 3 bad ones that it can't roll your next 5 levels, which means you can do that to prioritize only the high tier ones that are going to get you somewhere. And don't worry if you don't get all the good ones. That's what teammates are for. The bathhouse provides. If you need them, we got them. Just come say hey. So now that we've selected a deviation, if you're doing an endless stream server as a returning player, you're going to want to follow the quest and go talk to Miss Memory. Miss Memory, once you complete her beginning quest, is going to give you a motorcycle. This is very important to make sure that you are actively able to drive around and traverse the map cleanly. And now we begin the phase 1 material grind. So now we are going to begin the loot grind. This is the loot portion of the video. So here you can see we're going to go to Throughville, which is a level 2 area. That'll give us a whole bunch of materials that we'll need to be able to actively craft gear. So once you're here, you want to leap in with gusto. Make yourself well known to the populace of Thruwil. You see that giant purple beam? That's called the rift anchor. This is going to be a part of the completion for the exploration. This rift anchor is very important. It's going to give you some XP. It's going to give you some stellar planula, which you can use to get weapon mods and such. Very useful. You just got to go up and tickle it for a little bit. And typically the mystical crate is in the opposite direction of the rift anchor. That's not the case for all of them, but it's a generally decent rule of thumb to go by. The mystical crate is a bright red beam crate that is very visible and will give you blueprints, which is really useful. So a really useful tip to conserve ammo, just use your melee. Even if you don't have a melee weapon, at this beginning of the game level, it's very strong. As you're looting, you're going to see these bright yellow crates here. These are weapon crates and gear crates respectively. They'll give you energy links, a weapon, a mod, and a bunch of other useful little bits in there that are very great for the start of the game. As you continue looting around, you can do a backstab on enemies to insta-kill them, which is generally very useful. And then as you're looting around, if you press Q, which is your space-time button, you'll see a bright red indicator telling you that there's valuable loot nearby. When you see that bright red indicator and go towards it, you will assuredly always find a loot. Look for the white outline once you're nearby, and you'll be able to see any loot highlighted with that white icon. You'll be able to take those off of wherever. You'll be able to take all of these items back to your disassembly bench and turn them into useful materials. Now, you saw me automatically pick things up. That is because of the option that is called auto take. Auto take will prevent you from having to spam your F key all the time to pick up items in an area. As long as you have that enabled, you will automatically take items. As you're looting, there's also storage crates. These storage crates provide you general goods that aren't necessarily weapons or armor. They will give you more loot to dismantle. And then eventually you will find the mystical crate. Like I said, it's a big crate. It's got a big old red loot beam on it. You're going to walk over to it. You're going to loot it. It's going to give you some blueprints. If you've already obtained the blueprint, it's going to give you an asterism crate, which is going to progress your Starcrom wheel, which will give you the ability to purchase blueprints. Once you have all of these things, you will have fully explored the area. You'll get some bonus XP, some bonus loot, and you'll be able to go back to your base, dismantle all of your delightful gear, and that will be the core gameplay loop for a pretty good amount of time. That's generally how you're going to get all of your loot, all your gear, dismantle it, build new stuff. That's your meta game cycle. All right, take 3. I have recorded this 3 goddamn times now. The first time I forgot to unmute, the second time I forgot to hit record, the third time is the charm. So in order you can do public events. Public events are denoted by the red diamond. If you look for the red diamond and click on it, you will see information about what you will gain when you complete this. You can also use combat invitation on the top right to give people a link to automatically teleport them to the public event. It's amazing. When you call in the cavalry, people will show up. There'll be a ton of them. Do whatever you got to do. Just make sure it gets done. Upgrade the event difficulty. Get better loot. You will get suffix mod boxes from these. Those suffix mod boxes are going to be very useful in the future in your territory. Your Digbert man will automatically gather all metals up to steel. So you will have to not worry about copper, tin, or iron ore, or sulfur anymore. Digbert man will gather them for you. Now, the first tin that you mine in every server will always give you a level 1 Digby Boy. If you do not have a Digby Boy, please make sure to place this one down because it is going to make your entire life so much easier. When you log back on the next day, it will have a ton of materials and it will help you progress much quicker without having to spend hours just farming over time. Make sure to gather pretty much everything you can, as much as you see, all the time, always, because I assure you, you never have enough. All those materials that you gathered from the township, go over to a disassembly bench, select all of them, get rid of them. These are materials that you will use to craft your armor and weapons for the future. Begin slowly progressing your armor up over time. Don't worry about calibrating anything till later, but that'll be gone over in a different section of the video. But for now, just make sure you're disassembling everything. Make sure that you are gathering as much as you possibly can, because that is going to help you tremendously in the future. In order to drive your bike around, you need gas, you need fuel. In order to get fuel, you can use water pumps in an area that produces oil to give you crude oil. You can then use a small refinery to turn that crude oil into fuel. Fuel can also be found from cars along the side of the road. You'll know them when you see them. You just loot the back of them. They give you something to disassemble, and they also give you some fuel. There's a few places that have really, really good amounts of cars just littered around that you can loot, which is a great way of getting fuel if you don't have an oil farm. But generally, the oil farm will give you a lot more long-term gains, and you will find much more value in that in the long run. Now, in Endless Dream or any scenario specifically, gunpowder is very hard to come by. Bullets in general are hard to come by at the early game. The best place to do this is to go to Monolith of Greed and just kill everything. Everything in Monolith of Greed drops copper ingots and gunpowder. Gunpowder, in order to craft it, is very expensive and very tedious. So not having to do that is great. In early game or late game, this is my preferred gunpowder grinding area. Welcome to the building section. I'm not really sure we're going to go over yet. I'm going to be honest with you. We're watching this back. We're trying to figure it out as we go along. Hit B to open the build menu and press Z. This will place down your first base. Now, this base is movable, which is delightful. You're not locked into one specific location. If you open up the build menu and hit the tilde key, you can go into fly mode, hit Z again, and you'll be able to place your base somewhere else. So I put my base down a little too early. I'd like to be by the coast. Let's move my base over by the coast. You can do this every 10 minutes. There's a cooldown, but it's not that, it's negligible. To be honest, the cooldown is negligible. Once you have your base down, they'll give you one securement unit, which is where I recommend putting in that Digby Boy or Digbert Man if you have it. There's a couple key unlocks that you need to get right away. Disassembly techniques, which will give you the disassembler. The furnace, which will allow you to start cooking like Walter White and Jesse. You can become both of them at the same time. It's fantastic. Under the second tab, the crafting, you want to get your workbench, your gear bench, and ammunition. The three most important things for the start of the game. Basic gear will give you a couple of really decent formulas to start off the game with. I'd recommend it if you're fairly new. If you're not, then you'll be fine. HP recovery will let you make activators, which you need to be able to heal. Please, for the love of God, make adrenaline shots. Don't be like me. Learn the mimetic. Pick yourself back up when you get knocked down. You're never going to keep me down. I get knocked down, and I don't get back up again because I don't make adrenaline shots. Don't be like me. After that, go to logistics. Get yourself your stove. You need the stove to make food. It's big. It's just useful. And also unlock dishes 1, because this will give you basic recipes that will just get you by. If you want to learn multiple mimetics at once, you can actually just click down the tree and it'll automatically unlock all of the mimetics that you need in order to get to that point, which is very convenient. Under building, I recommend getting the garage immediately so you can repair your motorbicycle or craft one if you need to. After you've been placing a whole bunch of stuff down, you're going to have so much puppy crap in your inventory that you are going to need to place it somewhere. You can't carry all that weight. You're not Hercules. Who do you think you are? So if you need to unlock a larger storage crate, but you don't have the ability to do so, if you press the F key, it'll take you straight to that mimetic and you'll be able to just unlock it right away without having to search for it. It'll just automatically take you there. Super convenient. Place down that storage chest, start getting your stuff put away. The super cool thing about storage chests is that you can organize them. So you can deposit all of your materials into one, and then from that point, you'll be able to hit H to automatically merge any items over, and it'll just auto stack them with all of your other ones. At the start of the game, you can just have a dump chest. You'll be fine, but it's generally more efficient if you actually organize them and have one be disassembly items, one be your raw ore, one be your cooked ore and glass and bricks and stuff, and then another chest for your armor and health crafting, like acid and leather, things of that nature. I can't think of any more, so etc. That's about it for building. All right, so welcome to the crafting section. You want to place down a bunch of furnaces and get as much charcoal cooking as you possibly can. You are going to need so much charcoal at the start of the game before you have an electric furnace. This is going to facilitate all of your ore crafting, which you need to do. You need a lot of it. You need so much of it. Your Digby Boy will gather it for you while you're offline. You can jump right back online, use the charcoal, and create whatever it is that you need in the meantime. I recommend 3 furnaces. You don't really need more than that. If you want to go crazy with it, you can get like 20 of them, have them all be cooking 5 batches of charcoal for maximum efficiency. You don't have to worry about it ever again. Charcoal also helps with gunpowder, which is nice, but really you don't need all that. So once you have a bunch of metals, you'll be able to place down your gear workbench and your supplies workbench. You'll be able to start making armor, weapons, and ammunition. On the gear workbench, you want to just craft whatever is the strongest weapon that you have at the time, because this will help you just progress through the game faster, go through higher level areas sooner, such as Monolith of Greed at single digit levels, and start taking things down like you saw earlier. I would recommend using, if you have a Brahminy blueprint, this is going to be one of your best blueprints to start with. You can see everything it takes to craft it. So we make it, equip it, and then we want to go through and make sure that we have some decent armor, because that's going to keep us alive. The sharp blade pants specifically, I recommend getting whatever key item you need for your build. In this case, if you're going to use the Brahminy, you're going to want to use the sharp blade pants. Make sure you have everything you need to craft it, and then start crafting some of your other set pieces as well, just to help improve your damage while you are going to be doing the thing. Make sure to remember to craft your ammunition, because I often forget to craft ammunition. Don't know why. It's just a quirk of me, who I am. Make sure to go in and equip your mods, because you can equip any existing mods you've already had onto your brand new weapons. So you can have a tier 1 weapon with your perfect god roll mod, but keep in mind, those mods are not going to be active until you reach that specific tier. So the attribute effects are only active based on the tier of your weapon. At tier 1, you have no modifiers. At tier 2, you have one modifier. Tier 3, you have the next one. Tier 4, you have the third one. Tier 5, you have all 4 attribute modifiers. Make sure to equip all of the accessories that you have onto your weapon as well, because that'll make it just generally easier. Cosmetics are critically important. They raise your DPS. Fashion is critical. You gotta look good. If you're going to commit crimes, you got to look good while doing it. Everybody knows that. This is just a statement, a fact of life. Calibrations. Yes, so calibrating your gear, there's 4 calibration levels at tier 1, and they increase over the course of the tiers up to +10. It's not really worth calibrating any of your gear until you have tier 3. That's going to help you get to tier 5 faster. I usually go tier 1, tier 3, tier 5. I just skip 2 and 4. That's just kind of me being experienced at the game. If that's what you want to try and do, by all means. But there's nothing wrong with going tier to tier. Just don't bother using materials to calibrate until you're at tier 5, because it's just not worth the damage increase. The only thing I would recommend calibrating, if you are going to, is your mask, because it's going to give you the most psi intensity. So if you're using a status or elemental damage weapon that scales with psi intensity, your mask will give you the absolute most of it. So that is your most important armor. That should be your highest blueprint level and your highest calibration, if anything. And that's about it for the crafting section. Now, I said before, as you're running around in the world, you will find all of these delightful little cars to loot. Try not to get bodied while you're looting them, but they're very important, especially when you're on your way into combat zones. Highly recommend, because then you can use your motorcycle more frequently. Once you get into a scary area, you'll see these enemies around here. Just make sure you bop them as much as you physically can, because these enemies in this area are going to drop the best amount of loot that you can get in this area right now. You need gunpowder, you need copper, you need XP, you need to progress. This is how you're going to do it. Going through higher level areas as much as you possibly can will do nothing but benefit you. Now, just be mindful. Have activators with you wherever you go. Have adrenaline shots. Don't be like me. We already had this discussion. We're not going to have to go over it again, but it's very important that you consistently go through these areas to the best of your ability. If you're getting overwhelmed, do not just push through. Don't force yourself into a bad time because you want to get some slightly higher tier loot. Just go back, get your tier 2 gear. You'll be all right. It's absolutely worth it to get tier 2 gear if you are struggling trying to get things in a tier 3 zone. Very important. Now, when your health gets super low, your sanity gets super low, you are falling apart, go home and take a bath. As you can imagine, it is my favorite way to heal. It's almost like it's in my name. Who's to say? Don't worry about the world around you. Simply wash your cares away. Enjoy the soak in the tub. Your sanity will regenerate. Your health will regenerate. It'll be very quick. And if you don't have a bathtub, you can use a bed as well. That will also heal you. The bathtub is just tremendously faster. Welcome to the advanced building section of the video. Here we are going to be going over electricity. We're going to be going over farms, a good way to maintain your thirst in the early game, and additionally, how to do water pumps, filters, and get a little mini farm going. So at the very start here, you get small solar generators. I highly recommend just bum rushing these as fast as you possibly can. They will make your life so much easier. You only need one for right now, and you'll be able to run an electric furnace, which will be fantastic. Once you have an electric furnace, you'll be able to make all of the ingots that you need, but you can see right here, it does not cost charcoal anymore. Additionally, you will now have an electric stove, the intermediate stove, which will allow you to make all kinds of high tier foods. Now, you can also get buffs for the solar generators using the mimetic specializations we talked about earlier. If you do not have mimetic specializations specifically for solar panels or anything like that, again, the bathhouse provides. You need simply ask, and we shall give you some. Whatever you need. If you're playing with us, if the bathhouse is on your server, all you got to do is ask. We will always provide. It is what we do for our people. Now, once you have your generators, you can daisy chain all of your electronics together to one generator. Now, thankfully, all the generators are on Wi-Fi. We're in 2025 now. We have wireless electricity, which is strange, but here we are. So all of your generators, no matter where they are, do not need to be connected anymore. Once you have one generator hooked up to any of your electrical devices, it'll provide power to that device. The wires still have to be connected to each individual furnace or fridge or stove, but it only needs to be connected to one generator and you will supply power, all of them inside of your base, which is amazing, super useful. Oh, additionally, the deviation, the electric eel, will provide you even more electricity. You can combine this with the Silver Gentleman Nutcracker and the Moonlit Jules Cat to have a permanent increase to your electricity, which is insane. But that is hyper advanced. We're not going over that right now. In order to get electric eels, you have to go through public events. These public events you're looking for specifically are called Surge of Fish. When you go fishing, you have a much higher chance at catching an electric eel during those events. So if you need to get some, that's the best place to do it. You can fish them normally, but it is a much lower chance. At least in my experience, personally, I don't get a lot of them unless it's a fishing event, but fishing events are just useful. So two birds stoned at once, go for it. So now we're going to go over a very basic farm plot, something you can do to start facilitating all of your hydration. It's very important that you line everything up to be exactly perfect, not because you need to, but because it just looks nice. That's all that there is to it. You can make it look ugly if you want to, it doesn't matter. As long as everything's being irrigated, you're fine. So in order to set up that irrigation, there's a couple things you need to worry about. There is the water pump, the one that actually pumps the water, the mini water pump, which will get the water where it needs to go if the destination of the water is higher than the pump itself. Otherwise, you can just let gravity do its thing and the water will flow down from the pump into a container. It's important to know that the baby water pump simply reverses the flow of the pipe you connect it to. So if your pipe is lower than your actual pump, then your water will flow down. Once you add power to the water pump, the water will start flowing up. It just reverses the flow. That's it. So if you want something to go up, you need to create a water pump that then goes somewhere higher than it. So like a water tank that is above your water pump through a mini water pump, apply power, and it will all go up. Now, I recommend using gravity to the best of your ability so you can spare some electricity and not have to have all these crazy water pumps doing their thing. So you can just do pump to water tank and it will gravitationally feed down, as you can see right here. And then you can go from the water tank to your irrigation. That will then be lower than your water pump, so gravity will feed it down. If you can't do that, or aesthetically you don't want to, then you can use a mini water pump to pump water out from the lower part of the water tank into the higher part of the irrigation. Blueberries are the best thing to plant because they are very simple to grow. They just require a lot of sun and a lot of water. These two things are very easy to provide for it. They'll grow super fast, and then you'll be able to create blueberry soda, which is going to be the easiest to make, crazy hydrating early game drink. And it will just save you a lot of time from having to constantly be boiling water, and it will give you overall more hydration. It's important to note that if you do not have a roof, your crops will get a lot of sunlight during the sun. As you can imagine, it'll just beam them with sunlight. It's crazy. Now, if you do not want them beamed with sunlight, then you got to put up a roof, and they make these specific grow lights that you can put on, which you can then adjust the amount of light that they get. That's more advanced farming. We're not worried about that. We are simply worried about glowing. We're simply worried about growing blueberries to create blueberry soda, because that is our most efficient drink at this stage. The final section is going to be going over map traversal. Very important. It's good to know how to do this. I assure you, you will find value in this. So you see these little teleportation towers marked by that gray icon with what looks like a broadcast tower icon. These are your bread and butter. You need to make sure that you are getting every single one of these that you see. The beauty of them, when you go into a new server, you will transfer over your teleportation tower progress. All you got to do is pick up one. It'll reconnect you to all of them. It is wildly convenient. So make sure you get all of them, ideally in one season. If you don't, so be it. That's fine. You can get more later. You'll be all right. I believe in you. And then additionally, there was an update where you are now able to teleport to any teleportation tower on the map from anywhere. You don't have to be at a teleport tower or be in a town or be at your base. You need to go somewhere, you can just go there. It's hyper convenient. So another reason to make sure you're getting every teleport tower you can. You can teleport back to your home base for free every 5 minutes, which is convenient. You can also place down camps out in the world, which you can additionally teleport to for free in the same vein as your house itself. It shares a cooldown timer, so it can be one or the other, but it's an additional place to teleport to. So say you want to go really far north on the map above the pro mode Prime Wars because it's really low sanity there and you can just drain yourself real quick. You'll be able to place a camp down there and teleport up to it as needed. Now keep in mind, camps automatically get deleted after 24 hours. So you're going to have to make sure you put one there every day and teleport there before your old one breaks and set up a new one. But it's super convenient, so it's worthwhile. All right. With that, I hope that these little tips and the guides and everything were able to help you out in some capacity. If there's anything else you'd like to know about or anything you'd like to see, please feel free to leave a comment. Let me know if you've learned something or if this has been helpful for you in any way. Please make sure to subscribe, like the video. Helps out the channel a whole bunch. We're currently live on Twitch right now. We do a lot of video editing, recording, fun stuff on there. Link to that is in the description. We stream 7:30 PST every day except for Wednesdays. Wednesdays are stinky doo-doo days. We do not like them. Thanks again for sticking around this long in the video. And as always, the bathhouse provides.